Welcome Inside the Lines. I am Greg Sussman. This is Frank Stanfield. Tonight, the Knicks are in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. They are a 17-point underdog, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook. The total sits at 229. The Knicks coming off a big win against Miami, where they played really, really well.
They played super well in that game, Greg. They took care of the ball. Only 7 turnovers in that game. They scored an insane 72 points in the paint. Speaking of points, the Knicks have gone over in 5 of their last 6 games. I'm expecting this game to be very up-tempo, a lot of back and forth here. The Milwaukee Bucks are first in pace, and under Mike Miller, their interim head coach, the Knicks are 13th in that category.
Knicks have covered in 5 of their last 9 games, and the Bucks, well, they're playing well as well. In fact, they've won 11 of their last 13 games outright, including their last 2 against the spread, by 21 points each. But other than those last 2 games, things haven't been as easy for them in January.
Yeah, their margin of victory hasn't been as high in the month of January. They're just a plus 6.7, whereas for the majority of the season, they're at plus 12.29. So I think the Knicks can keep this game closer here. And if you look at the ATS numbers, when the Milwaukee Bucks are laying double digits, this isn't a role that they have been great in so far this season. We know how great this team is overall, but when laying double-digit points, they are just 7-11 against the spread.
They did lay double-digit points the last time these two teams faced each other. They covered the number that time. We'll see if they do it tonight. Let's take a break. When we come back, we got 2 more games to visit. We're also going to take a look at our dollar holla of the night. Stick around. Whole lot more Inside the Lines coming your way right after this.
They say less is more, but we believe more is more. That's why we built FanDuel Sportsbook with more ways to bet, more ways to fund your account, more ways to cash in, and more ways to cash out, with payouts delivered straight to your bank account in as little as 48 hours. You want more? You got it. Join today and get a risk-free bet worth up to $500. FanDuel Sportsbook. More ways to win.
Back here inside the lines, Greg Sussman, Frank Stanfield. Tonight, the Houston Rockets are in Memphis to take on the Grizzlies, who are streaking right now. They are 5-point underdogs at home, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, with the total sitting at 240.5. Memphis, they've won their last 5 in a row, 7 of their last 9, both against the spread and outright. And tonight, they're in another good spot because Houston is without Russell Westbrook, who is resting on the first night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, the Grizzlies are in a really good spot in this game, Greg. You mentioned how hot they've been. Russell Westbrook not going to play for the Houston Rockets tonight. Houston has played 5 games without Westbrook this year. They are 2-3 ATS in those games. Their field goal percentage drops by 2.3%. Their net rating goes from 4.8 to 2.7. We mentioned the Memphis Grizzlies. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They're 5-0 ATS during that streak as well. 6th in offensive rating, 1st in points per game during this 5-game winning streak. I wanted to take the over in this game, Greg, but this number is massive. It's 240.5. I'm going to stay away from the total, but I am going to grab the points with the Memphis Grizzlies against the Rockets.
It's the highest total the Grizzlies have seen all year long. I do like the Grizzlies in this one to continue their hot streak, but it's all about the battle in the paint. Clint Capella is probable tonight, and Memphis, well, Capella is going to have to stop them because they're the best in the NBA with points in the paint. Let's move on to Golden State, where the Warriors are taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Golden State is an 8-point underdog in this one, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, with the total sitting at 223. It's been a rough stretch for the Warriors. They've lost 8 games in a row. But Dallas has been a different team without Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, they have been. When it comes to the Warriors, they haven't fared well in this role this year as a single-digit underdog. They're just 9-14 against the spread in those games this year, and we just see a huge disparity in terms of the talent between these two teams. Dallas is a plus 6.9 net rating. That is 3rd in the NBA, whereas the Golden State Warriors are a minus 8.1 net rating. That is 29th. I'm going to lay the points with the Dallas Mavericks here, with or without Kristaps Porzingis. Give me the team that has one of the MVP candidates in Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic is fantastic, but this team is different without KP. They're just 2-7 in the last 9 games, all without KP. Of course, one of those times covering the spread was against the Warriors, but we'll ignore that fact, and we'll take Golden State tonight, plus the points. Let's move on to our dollar holla, our long shot bet of the night. We both like Memphis, and I'm going with the Memphis Grizzlies to win this game outright, and Ja Morant's going to have over 5 rebounds tonight. You get that at plus 620. We took it last week. It worked. Let's do it again.
We're both on the Memphis Grizzlies tonight, Greg. Jaren Jackson to score 20-plus points, and the Grizzlies win this game. He is averaging over 20 points per game in the month of January.
Knicks and Bucks coming up in a bit. Following Knicks game night, enjoy the game, everybody.